Good afternoon. This is Jason with Ridgerunner Blades, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Winkler knives. If you don't know a whole lot about Daniel Winkler, he is a local to North Carolina. He's about 30 minutes from our shop here, and he has been a master bladesmith since about 1982. He made a lot of the knives that were used in the movie Last of the Mohicans. He makes a lot of the knives used by current operators overseas, from SEAL teams to Rangers to everybody who's using a knife in protection of our freedom is using one of his blades now. So it's really awesome to be that close to a man with that much history and that much skill. So today we're going to talk about some of his most popular knives, especially popularity when we're talking about what we sell in the store. We are one of his largest stocking dealers, so we're very familiar with his blades. So first of all, we're going to talk about the SD2. This is a super popular knife for your everyday carry crowd. It's a smaller knife. It is made of 80 CRV2 steel, and they use Daniel's, of course, his special heat treating process. But this is an awesome little blade. You can fit it on any belt, you can carry it around, and most people say they don't even notice it. Beautiful thing about any of these knives is they typically come in all different kinds of handle configurations. This right here is walnut, and it is sculpted walnut, so it helps you get a little better purchase on that knife whenever you're doing some fine detailed work with it. But a lot of people love this knife. It's super popular. Next knife we're going to talk about is called the Operator. This was designed for a local Navy SEAL here in Wilkes County, who helped Daniel design this knife for some of the operations that he was running into overseas. It is made to be super small, super discreet, but get the job done every time. Now, this handle looks like the sculpted walnut, but this is actually micarta sculpted wasp is what it's called. Has two different color variations inside there, as you can see. Has jimping up on the back edge to help keep your thumb from sliding down the top of the blade. And it is a super handy little knife, small enough to be carried most anywhere too. And if you'll notice, all of Daniel's knives come with phenomenal sheaths. It's a great system. Every one of his blades comes with a sheath individually made for that individual blade. So he doesn't have a bunch of blanks up there at his shop that he just builds sheaths off of. This sheath was built for this knife in his shop. Another super popular knife is the Blue Ridge Hunter. This is where we're getting more into the field craft and the bushcraft and the actual hunters and stuff like that. This is probably one of our most popular sellers because it sort of fits between the smaller blades and the larger blades. It comes in a bunch of handle configurations. Again, typically the one we sell the most of is going to be maple, either standard maple, maple tribal, or maple sculpted. The maple, the lines in the maple, this really looks pretty when they put this knife together. Notice the jimping on the back. Super grippy, so your thumb's not going to slide over the top. Beautiful knife. Stepping on up, we're going to step up to the belt knife. This is another one of his extremely popular knives, and if you notice, it looks like a bigger version of the Blue Ridge Hunter. Got your lanyard hole. Again, I have this in maple. The Winkler name on the back. The same jimping on top, and the same profile, just slightly bigger. And while I'm at it, let me go ahead and pull that Blue Ridge Hunter back out so you can see them both side by side. Both extremely useful and durable knives. Newer for this year is going to be his newly designed drop point crusher. So if you bought a crusher in the past, you bought a crusher that has a blade like the belt knife, upswept tip. Well, Daniel decided to do a drop point and redesign the crusher pommel just a little bit so it's more like a chisel tip. So if you need to be pounding on something, you need to get somebody's attention, you can definitely get it with the back end of that knife right there. Doesn't have the jimping up here, but it's a good place to put your thumb and press forward. I really like drop points myself, so I really appreciate the fact that he built this knife for this year. This one has black micarta handles on it. Nasty knife. And so the last one, and this is really popular when you get into your bushcrafters and your survivalists. This is called the Survival Strike. It is the biggest, thickest knife that he makes. So if you look at how thick the spine is of this knife compared to your other knives, you can see it is built like a tank. Big, huge jimping, big, thick spine. Now it is hollowed out in here, and the cool thing about that is if you look on the sheath, there's a tool. This tool is made to allow you to remove this scale. Inside there's a ferro rod and some steel wool to help you start a fire. Look how the pommel is on this. It's so big and thick you could use it for a hammer. But this is an extremely overbuilt knife for survival. It's exactly what it's for. It was Daniel's intention to make an overbuilt knife that you would have a great deal of effort put into breaking this knife, and he truly excelled in that. Currently, the only way you can get this is with the G10 Camo micarta sculpted handles or a smooth green micarta handle. But that is just a quick rundown on some of Daniel's most popular knives. Stay tuned for more on Daniel Winkler and all the other knives we carry here at Ridgerunner. Thank you for joining us.